Hello listeners and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. Team 5 is here and is made up of Sadie, Ruth, John and myself, Steve. The news this week is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier, dated the 26th of May 2026. As usual, the news will be broken into parts, and can I remind you that when you have listened to the whole recording, please post your wallet back to us from a postbox and not the post office. Now we will start part 1 with general news. The headline is, Liver Trial Results Gave Me My Life Back, and this is by a staff reporter. A new cell therapy for patients with liver disease has been called a godsend for a woman who received it. Sandra Watson of West Lothian was treated with a new trial therapy in 2016. 10 years on, she is still transplant-free. Although I'm not cured, taking part in the trial has given me so much more freedom, she said. I used to have a dreadful itch and would wake up bleeding from scratching during the night. It's been 10 years since the treatment and I still haven't experienced the itch or had jaundice, which is a godsend. Researchers said results from the clinical trial suggest that the new type of therapy shows promise as the first treatment for advanced liver disease. They found that patients with the condition who were treated with the cell therapy had a significantly lower risk of death or need for a liver transplant after 4 years compared with those who received standard medical care. While the liver has the unique ability to regenerate itself after damage, in patients with advanced liver disease, severe scarring known as cirrhosis can leave it damaged beyond repair, leading to liver failure. Experts said the new treatment could offer a potential alternative to liver transplants for those in end-stage liver disease, which currently is the only curative treatment option. A bit more about Sandra's story. A new cell therapy for patients with liver disease has been called a godsend for the Scot who received it. Sandra Watson of West Lothian was treated with a trial therapy in 2016. It's been 10 years since the treatment and I haven't experienced itch or had jaundice. The 61-year-old was diagnosed with liver problems while in the hospitality industry 2 decades ago. She was sent to hospital and diagnosed with primary biliary cholangitis, which without treatment may eventually lead to liver failure. It was alarming and felt like I'd just been given a death sentence, she said. I attended the hospital outpatients every 6 months for blood tests and scans. My bloods were quite unstable. I had bouts of jaundice and still the dreaded itch, she said. In 2016, she signed up for the cell therapy trial. I was a bit dubious, she said, but thought surely it can't make me feel any worse than now. I'm so grateful to have been able to take part in the trial.
This heading is Karen has come such a long way, spelt W-E-I-G-H, as she smashes 5k challenge, and it's by Ross Thompson. A Slimming World consultant from Livingston has completed a Race for Life event and has raised money for the group's charity partner, Cancer Research UK. Karen Robertson, the new Slimming World consultant in Dean's Livingston, has lost an incredible 4 stones since joining the Dean's Slimming World group and has smashed a 5k race for life for the second time. Karen joined Slimming World in July 2023. She prepared for the event by following Slimming World's active lifestyle program, which helps members embrace and integrate fitness habits into their everyday life at their own pace. She said, I wasn't very active before joining Slimming World. I'd previously struggled to get myself off a sun lounger on holiday, and I was often left out of breath walking short distances. The activity program has helped me gradually increase my activity levels. I am now in a place where I feel confident to enter events like Race for Life, knowing that, while it may be a personal challenge, I can do it. Alongside this, Karen, who lives with her husband Bruce, followed Slimming World's healthy eating plan, Food Optimizing. She said, when my Slimming World consultant Mary first explained how the eating plan worked, I was amazed at how much I could eat without feeling like I was on a diet or restricting my food. Now that I am a consultant, I love exploring my members' favourite meals and explaining how these can be made using food optimising methods means they never feel like they are missing out. I'm so excited to start with my new group, the group I first joined as a member back in 2023, and help more people from my local community. As well as raising funds for Cancer Research UK, Karen is also aiming to raise awareness how maintaining a healthy weight reduces the risk of 13 different types of cancer. Overweight and obesity is the second biggest preventable cause of cancer in the UK, causing more than 1 in 20 cancer cases. Karen added, through Slimming World Club 10 award, we know that losing just 10% of our starting weight has so much health benefits. It's a fantastic award to give out in group. Seeing and hearing the health changes people are making every single day. Over the years, Slimming World has raised more than £30 million for Cancer Research UK through a variety of fundraising activities, including the Big Slimming World Clothes Throw and sponsoring Race for Life. The Dean's Slimming World group is held at St Andrew's Church, Main Street, Deans, every Thursday at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. For more information to join Karen's group, either pop along or call her on 07979 573335. Or for more information, visit www.slimmingworld.co.uk or call 344 897 8000.
This is another article by Ross Thompson. The headline is Kim bidding to get movie onto the big screen. A West Lothian actress has launched a crowdfunder in a bid to make her latest film make it onto the big screen. Former burlesque dancer Kim Chapman, whose acting credits include parts in Irvine Welsh's Crime and BBC drama Night Sleeper, as well as Game of Thrones and Shetland, is co-creating a short film inspired with the grief of losing her father. She said, I have now retired from gigging on the burlesque circuit to focus on acting, as I had planned to, but I have unexpectedly become the co-writer-creator of a short film called Goodbye Honey Henderson, which is inspired by my own memoirs of working in burlesque and cabaret alongside tackling the grief of losing my dad. So it's a really personal project and my first venture into making films. I already have an amazing professional production team behind me, including 4 of us having been alumni of Irvine Welsh's TV series Crime. I know that it will be a beautiful cinematic film and hopefully a success on the International Film Festival circuit in 2027. As we have big plans for its production value and want to try to pay fair wages to everyone working on the film, the budget we need is unfortunately substantial, and sadly there are very few accessible arts funding options available to us at this time. So we are currently crowdfunding to raise the finance, but we are delighted to be supported by Creative Scotland and their crowd match scheme, in which they double every donation made up to £250, which is a really big support. We are offering all kinds of rewards and perks to our donors too. It's running until June the 8th. The plan is for the film to be screened internationally at a prestigious film festival. The ultimate hope is it might be picked up to be developed into a feature film or a TV series. Goodbye Honey Henderson is a contained, emotionally driven drama unfolding over a single night in a working cabaret club. Kirsty, a renowned burlesque performer, arrives for the final show of her farewell tour, closing the chapter on her life as Honey Henderson. Backstage, the dressing room hums with energy. Performers celebrate her legacy, a chosen family bound by ritual, chaos and care. But beneath the surface, Kirsty carries the unresolved weight of her father's death. As the night unfolds, the club becomes a psychological arena. Kirsty's carefully constructed persona begins to fracture as intrusive memories of her father's decline surface. It's raw, disorientating and inescapable. On stage, the performance reaches its climax. Kirsty stops performing as Honey Henderson and instead channels everything she has suppressed, grief, rage and love, into a final act of release. The persona falls away. What remains is Kirsty, exposed but no longer hiding. To donate to the fundraising, you can visit www.crowdfunder.co.uk/p/Goodbye Honey Henderson. And there's a photograph of Kirsty as or Kim looking coquettish.
The next headline reads, Domestic Abuse Consultation. The Scottish Sentencing Council has launched a public consultation to seek views on a draft sentencing guideline for domestic abuse offences. The consultation is available on the Council website, and organisations and people from all backgrounds, legal or otherwise, are encouraged to have their say on the guideline to help ensure it is fit for purpose. Domestic abuse is an area of great concern to the public and accounts for a significant number of cases across courts in Scotland. The sentencing of such cases is complex and can prove challenging for judges, particularly due to the broad range of circumstances involved in domestic offending and the need to give careful consideration to the protection of victims. Research also shows that victims want greater clarity on the processes and reasons behind court decisions. The guideline is designed to be of use to the courts and court users as well as the general public by clearly setting out the information which should be considered by judges in deciding sentences. Lord Beckett, Lord Justice Clerk and Chair of the Council, said, "This guideline will assist the court in selecting what can sometimes be challenging sentencing decisions, thereby enhancing consistency. It will also aid public awareness by helping people better understand what domestic abuse can involve and what is considered by the courts when reaching a sentence. The public consultation is a vital stage in developing a sentencing guideline. In order for it to be useful to the court users and the public, we are seeking as wide a range of views as possible, and I encourage everyone to take the time to respond to the consultation. Every response will be carefully considered by the Council before the guideline is finished. The deadline for responding to the consultation is August the 6th.
The next article is by Ross Thompson, and the headline is MP backs his party's legislation. Livingston MP Gregor Poynton has welcomed the UK Labour government's legislative programme set out in their latest King's Speech. Mr Poynton said the UK government's programme showed a clear focus on delivering economic stability, rebuilding public services and creating more opportunities for working people across West Lothian and the wider UK. The King's Speech, delivered at the state opening of Parliament, sets out the UK government's priorities and proposed legislation for the coming parliamentary session. He said, the King's Speech sets out an ambitious programme focused on rebuilding Britain after years of instability and decline under the Conservatives. For people across West Lothian, the priorities are clear: lowering bills, strengthening public services, creating good jobs and ensuring working people have greater security and opportunity. Many of the measures announced today build on changes already delivered by the UK Labour government over the past year, including stronger workers' rights, action to improve rail services and investment in clean energy through Great British Energy. The next stage is about going further to strengthen our economy, modernise public services and support long-term growth. Measures to improve energy security and support industry are particularly important for Scotland, helping protect households and businesses from global energy price shocks while supporting the transition to clean, homegrown power. I also welcome the continued focus on tackling antisocial behaviour and crime and improving digital access to public services. People in the Livingston constituency and across West Lothian want to see politics delivering practical change in their lives again, and this programme reflects that focus on rebuilding opportunity, security and confidence for the future. The legislative programme announced by the UK Labour government includes proposed bills on energy independence, cyber security, rail and passenger benefits, small business protections, steel industry nationalisation and reforms designed to support economic growth and investment. Mr Poynton insisted the programme showed the government was choosing long-term change over short-term sticking plasters and focusing on building a stronger and fairer country. However, opposition parties were left unhappy by what was missing from the speech, including the Tories, who blasted the UK government's decision not to be more open to new oil and gas exploration in the North Sea. Russell Finlay, Scottish Conservatives leader, said Labour's crazy decision to double down to block new drilling is a kick in the teeth for Scotland's proud oil and gas workers. Driven by completely unrealistic net zero targets, they are happy to kill off the industry no matter how many jobs are lost or how much it will force up people's energy bills. Meanwhile, Dave Duggan, SNP leader at Westminster, said this was a typically and massively underwhelming policy agenda from a dismal Prime Minister who promised change but has only delivered chaos. It does nothing to help families with the cost of living, which has soared under the Labour Party, and it shows why Scotland urgently needs a fresh start with independence, because real change will never come from Westminster. For months, families have been crying out for help with the cost of living emergency, but the Labour government has been completely distracted by its leadership crisis and has failed to lift a finger to help hard-pressed households.
Butcher's sizzling sausage success. And this again is by Ross Thompson. A West Lothian butcher has scooped a sizzling sausage success double. Hugh Black and Sons lifted the South East title in the Scottish Craft Butchers SCB Beef Link Sausage Championships and is hard on the heels of their similar regional success in the Pork Links Championship last year. With what judges described as a belter of a banger, the company fought off stiff competition to be crowned the region's best. The family firm, now one of the country's largest independent butchers, has 13 shops across central Scotland. And director Hugh Black said everyone from factory to shop counter was delighted with the latest industry accolade. To now have both these regional titles for our linked sausages is something special, he said. It's a terrific double to hold and reflects well on everyone involved. Hugh Black and Sons have butcher shops in Airdrie, Armadale, Bathgate, Cambuslang, Carluke, Coatbridge, Cowdenbeath, Lanark, Linlithgow, Lochgelly, Stirling, Whitburn and Winchborough, as well as a productive factory at Bathgate. We're producing and selling around 500 kilos of beef links every week, and it's a credit to the team crafting the links that the high quality of sausages remains consistent, said Hugh. Around 10,000 beefy bangers sell through the company's retail outlets each week, with customers across the Central Belt enjoying the award winners. We use only the best locally sourced Scottish beef, mixed to our traditional recipe and hand-linked in natural casings, said Hugh. It's great to be recognised for the skill and quality involved for what is an everyday product. It's a customer favourite, and now it's a judge's favourite too, which is terrific. We're over the moon to have been judged one of the 5 top beef link producers in Scotland, and we welcome anyone to our shops who wants to try the best in the South East. Gordon King, Executive Manager of Scottish Craft Butchers, said that the competition had brought together one of the finest producers in the country. Every butcher wants to secure accolades for beef link sausages, he said. This is a title everyone is chasing. Beef links are a staple product among our craft butchers, one of the pillars of our business, he said. Each butcher produces their own traditional sausage using skills and guarded recipes passed down over the years, often unaltered for generations. Hugh Black and his team have perfected a well-filled sausage with good colour, great texture, consistency and a phenomenal taste. A very worthy winner. Drew Gowdy, Group Commercial Manager with Championship sponsors Scobie and Junior, said they were passionate about supporting the butcher trade and the people driving it forward. The Beef Link Sausage Competition is a great platform for recognising quality, innovation and craftsmanship, he said. We are proud to support it in partnership with Scottish craft butchers. And there's a very smiley picture of the Black family holding their award.
Young rugby stars celebrate superb season. A team of talented rugby stars from a Livingston school are celebrating an outstanding season. The James Young High School S2 rugby team won the East Region Schools Rugby Championship recently. The team of talented young players capped off an extraordinary season with a victory over Berwickshire, Preston Lodge and Trinity at Peffermill playing fields in Edinburgh on finals day. The team's campaign began in October 2025 with a dominant opening round against Leith, Broughton, Musselburgh and Armadale. Promoted for the second round in March 2026, the team continued their remarkable form with victories over Eyemouth, Trinity A and Preston Lodge. Their success earned them a place at the East Region Schools Rugby Championship Finals Day, where they completed their incredible journey by lifting the title. James Young High School head teacher Tricia Gallagher said, "We are hugely proud of our fantastic S2 rugby team for winning the East Region Schools Rugby Championship less than a year after the squad was formed in September. Staff, families and the wider James Young High School community have praised the players for their talent, their teamwork and their dedication." And there's a lovely photograph of the team, of them looking very happy and determined.
And that brings us to the end of part 1. Welcome back to part 2, and we'll start with more general news.
The next report is by Stuart Somerville, and the headline reads, Travellers' Charter is questioned. West Lothian councillors heard a travellers' charter is going to be difficult to administer given existing regulations, and one councillor expressed doubts that anything would work to stop disruption. Labour's Danny Logue said he had served on a previously set-up committee. It didn't work then, and I don't think it will work again, he told a meeting with the full council. The council has agreed a framework set up by a working group to deal with unauthorised traveller encampments. The working group was set up in the wake of several encampments last year in Linlithgow, Livingston and Broxburn, which saw the council paying out thousands of pounds for clean-up costs. Initial contact, already established at 2 recent encampments in the county, has suggested a reluctance to use specific sites. There was broad agreement that the working group set up last September had been a useful exercise. It helped clarify existing rules and enabled the council to discuss best practice with other local authorities. Linlithgow Lib Dem Sally Pattle said current events proved how vital the work had been. In her report to the council Deputy Chief Executive Dr Elaine Cook said, the provision of an established code of conduct helps to form the basis of a mutual agreement between West Lothian Council and traveller encampments, helping to highlight what supports and resources can be provided by the council, while in return ensuring that the encampments are aware of the same code of conduct that is expected by any other resident within West Lothian. Dr Cook added, it is worth noting that the council has sought to engage with these most recent traveller encampments in an attempt to obtain views and feedback on the proposed framework approach and accompanying mutual agreement. Safer Neighbourhood team officers discussed the proposed framework at two unauthorised encampments, one at Bankton Mains, Murison, and the other at Excite, Bathgate. There were no issues or concerns raised around the concept of the mutual agreement and what this would entail between travellers and the council. Discussions also included the concept of identified safe sites / stopping places. Representatives from both encampments did express some uncertainty around this approach, noting that it does not traditionally align with travelling lifestyles. Dr Cook added, officers gave reassurance that West Lothian Council recognises the rights of gypsy travellers to practice their chosen lifestyle, including travelling and camping across Scotland. It was also highlighted that as a local authority it was important to balance this alongside the needs of settled communities, with the working group investigating safe and suitable land that could be used by travellers and that could better accommodate this lifestyle. Councillor Angela Doran-Timson, Conservative, had originally proposed writing to the Scottish Government to demand legal changes to give the Council more powers to deal with unauthorised encampments. That motion had been defeated by alternative proposals from the SNP's Andrew Miller, which led to the working group looking to make better use of existing legislation. Councillor Doran-Timson said, the working group has done a great deal of work. However, I do have a concern that if measures do not work, what will we do next? I would hope that we could see a change in legislation to give more powers to councils. Councillor Miller said, I think the working group has done a lot of really positive work and progress. I think it is a positive start and a journey worth travelling. Councillor Patel said, I want to thank all of the officers and other agencies that have come together. It has been a really positive experience and I really value the input by every single person around the table. Current events have shown to me just how necessary this piece of work is. And there's a picture above the article of the site in Craigswood with the amount of rubbish and debris that the travellers had left behind them.
The next feature is by Ross Thompson and is headlined, Cancer Struggle Sees Billy Take on Ribbon Walk. A West Lothian woman will be taking part in a charity walk for cancer after facing up to her own diagnosis. Flight attendant Billy Balanova was 39 when she found a lump in her chest. Billy went to her GP and was then sent to the breast clinic, where after a biopsy she was diagnosed with breast cancer, which had also spread to her lymph nodes. Billy then underwent surgery, chemotherapy and radiotherapy to treat her breast cancer. Now aged 43, Billy is walking in Breast Cancer Now's Edinburgh Holyrood Pink Ribbon Walk on June 20th to raise money and awareness for everyone affected by breast cancer. Breast Cancer Now's iconic pink ribbon walks are returning to beauty hotspots and historic cityscapes in the UK for their 21st year and are calling for outdoor lovers to step up now for a 10 or 20 mile walk to help change the future of breast cancer. On her mindset following diagnosis and through treatment, Billy said, I didn't think it was real. At first, I felt numb and shocked. It took me a while to process, and I don't think I did this fully until I had finished all my treatments. During treatment, I became so focused on going through it day by day and thinking about worst-case scenarios. You need to stop working for treatment, of course, so you have to worry about finances, well-being, and taking care of your family. There's a lot to think about and a lot to do. The biggest struggle I felt was after treatment. The process is still ongoing. Things have changed for you so drastically and you need to rediscover your whole body, and your psyche has changed so much. I feel very lucky and blessed that I had such a great team of doctors and nurses. Billy was inspired to take part in the Edinburgh Pink Ribbon Walk through her mother-in-law, who was also diagnosed with breast cancer. Billy said, my biggest reason for doing the walk is my mother-in-law. She went through breast cancer 20-odd years ago, and it will be a great surprise to tell her I've managed to do the walk. We walked different journeys, but it was difficult for her as well. She's always been positive, and she told me, don't worry, you'll be fine, you've got this. She never had any sorrow or doubt, and she understands what it's like. Since the Pink Ribbon Walks began, they have raised over £15.5 million for breast cancer now, and when they started in 2005, 8 in 10 women in the UK survived breast cancer for 5 or more years. Now it's 9 and 10. That's the power of science and support in action. Currently, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer every 9 minutes in the UK and a man every day. And there's an accompanying photograph of Billy Balanova and her mother-in-law.
Win a £25 gift card to spend at the centre, and this is by staff reporter. The Centre Livingston, which is one of Scotland's largest shopping centres, has a great variety of over 150 stores and restaurants to choose from, including M&S, Flannels, H&M, JD Sports, Pandora, Nando's and Wagamama. If your makeup bag needs a refresh, or you are planning to stock up on holiday sun care essentials, there are lots of stores to choose from at the shopping centre. Boots has a wide selection of beauty labels, including Clinique, MAC Cosmetics, Lancome, Estee Lauder, for the latest trending blushers, bronzers and brow pencils, perfect for giving your makeup kit a summer glow-up. There are also over 30 different sun care and sun cream brands, from La Roche-Posay and Garnier's Amber Solaire to Ryman, and Boots' own brand Sultan, which is excellent for long-lasting, reliable 5-star UVA protection to help keep your skin protected all day long. At Rituals, across from Swarovski, you can also pick up SPF 30 or 50 water-resistant face cream, enriched with the powerful Hydro Boost Complex and vitamin E, plus the summery scent of white tea and lotus flower, and an SPF 30 Fortune lip balm with shea butter and eucalyptus for lasting hydration. You'll also find a beautiful eyeshadow palette, sun glow powder and a 3-in-1 mascara, which is enriched with vegan keratin and castor oil to help strengthen lashes while creating curling, lengthening and volumizing effect. To win a chance for winning a £25 gift voucher, simply answer the competition question below and send it to ross.thompson@reachplc.com by Monday, June the 1st. The question is, where is Rituals located at the Centre Livingston? 1 next to Primark, 2 across from Swarovski, C 3 beside New Look. For more information on all the latest activities at the centre, visit the website at www.thecentrelivingston.com.
Following on from that story, Outlet's huge trading increase. Livingston Designer Outlet has delivered its strongest trading performance of the year to date. The success is being hailed following an exceptional April discount event, which saw sales increased by 72% year-on-year and footfall rise by 37%. The 4-day April discount event generated significant uplift across the scheme, reflecting exceptionally strong customer engagement and response to the campaign. Importantly, the strong trading momentum continued into the following week, with sales remaining almost 30% ahead of last year and footfall increasing 31%, highlighting that the uplift was not solely event-driven, but reflective of broader strengthening customer demand and trading performance across the outlet. The final day of the April discount event also delivered particularly strong results, with sales up 81% year-on-year and footfall increasing 54%, demonstrating sustained customer engagement throughout the period. The campaign also delivered standout results for a number of retailers and categories, with several brands reporting record trading performances, stronger footfall than Black Friday levels, and stores outperforming wider UK portfolios during the event. Michelle Whitelaw, Centre Director at Livingston Designer Outlet, said, The performance delivered through the April discount event reflects the continued strength of Livingston Designer Outlet's brand mix, value-led proposition, and customer appeal. It is particularly encouraging to see sustained momentum beyond the event period, alongside strong results across both anchor brands and premium retailers. Events like this continue to reinforce Livingston Designer Outlet's position as Scotland's leading designer outlet destination. The results of the event reinforce continued customer demand for outlet retail, with shoppers increasingly seeking access to premium and aspirational brands.
The next article is by Ross Thompson and tells of primary pupils celebrating major climate change prize. A West Lothian primary school has won a national prize for its efforts to combat climate change. Harrismuir Primary School has won the Eco Committee of the Year in the Eco Schools Scotland Awards run by environmental charity Keep Scotland Beautiful. The school's notable achievements include planting 200 trees in the local community with the Woodland Trust, weekly litter picks across the school and local green spaces, and leading environmental events such as the Big Bird Watch, the Big Plastic Count, and Fair Trade Fortnight. A wide range of fruit and vegetables have been grown by pupils in their polytunnel and planters, and they regularly lead assemblies to share progress and inspire their peers while also litter picking with their families outside of school hours. Andrea Gabriel, Education Manager at Keep Scotland Beautiful, said, "Our annual Eco Schools Scotland Awards are the perfect opportunity to highlight and celebrate those who go above and beyond to protect and care for environment." Harrismuir Primary School's commitment to environmental excellence epitomises exactly what our awards are about, showing initiative, curiosity and collaboration, and going above and beyond to do good for people and planet. In fact, that pupils from all ages have got involved makes it even more special. Congratulations to everyone who took part. Erin Pringle, Eco Coordinator and Outdoor Lead at Harrismuir Primary School, said, "As Eco Coordinator at Harrismuir Primary School, I am absolutely over the moon that we have received the annual award of Eco Committee of the Year 2026. The integrity, curiosity and compassion all 18 of our members show for preserving nature's resources is inspiring to those around them. Pupils care deeply not only about their community's conversation of sustainable choices, but also the lifelong effect they can have on their planet, even as they grow through life." 3 awards were given out this year. The other winners were Westcoats Primary in South Lanarkshire, who won Climate Action Project of the Year, and Joe Wright from Dumfries and Galloway's Hardgate Primary School, who won Eco Coordinator of the Year. Eco Schools is the largest sustainable schools programme in the world, with almost 20 million children, young people and educators engaged worldwide in 73 different counties. In Scotland, almost 900 schools currently fly the green flag proudly, while hundreds of others are on their own journey through our Climate Action Schools framework to achieve one. Eco Schools is one of 5 programmes operated internationally by the Foundation for Environmental Education, the FEE, and delivered by Keep Scotland Beautiful in Scotland as part of its Climate Action Schools framework. And there's a picture of 3 of the pupils with their award.
The next feature is by Ruth Souter, and it's headlined "Sister's Death Due to Tumour Rocks Leanne." A West Lothian woman has spoken of her twin sister dying from a deadly brain tumour after she gained 3 stone and went up 4 dress sizes in 6 months. Gemma Williamson had complained of back pain, headaches and sudden weight gain, but her GP dismissed her symptoms as normal and prescribed her painkillers. The active mum of 1 daughter Rosaline went from size 12 to a size 20 in 6 months, which was out of character. She died suddenly from a fatal seizure aged 33, and it was only after a post-mortem that her family discovered she'd been living with an aggressive, undiagnosed meningioma wrapped around her spinal cord. Her identical twin sister Leanne Wood, 40, from Bathgate said, "I think she was 10.5 stone and went up to 14 stone. At first the weight gain was quite gradual, but then all of a sudden Gemma seemed to gain a lot of weight in a short space of time. It was out of character for her because after having Rosalind, she had been so active and had even trained for a half marathon to lose weight. Gemma was worried, and so were all of us. I even went to the doctors with her to try and push for answers, but it felt like we were hitting a brick wall. Looking back now, I think she felt so unwell with her headaches and back pain that she had almost accepted the weight gain. I still ask myself if there was more we could have done and whether Gemma might still be here. I know I can't think like that, but it's still incredibly hard to accept sometimes. The family were left in shock when Gemma passed away. Leanne, a nurse, said, in February 2019, Gemma's boyfriend had gone to her house one evening because they had plans together, but he couldn't get inside. He collected spare keys from my dad, and when they entered the house, they found Gemma collapsed on the floor. I still remember getting the call that night. I had spoken to Gemma at 2 p.m. that afternoon, and by 8 p.m. I found out she was gone. It was only after a post-mortem examination and a five-month wait for results that the family discovered Gemma had been living with a brain tumour. The tumour was aggressive and fast-growing and had caused the seizure which tragically took her life. The shock and confusion were unbearable because at that point we had absolutely no idea what had happened, Leanne said. Gemma and I spoke almost every single day. We would meet for coffees, go for runs together and tell each other everything. Losing that connection overnight was devastating. The first few months felt like a nightmare and we were all just functioning on autopilot. Having to tell Rosalind, who was only 5 at the time, that her mum had died was one of the hardest things her family has ever had to do. The twins were inseparable growing up and remained very close as adults. Both studied nursing at Dundee University and lived in Dundee for several years. Following Gemma's death, Leanne turned to running to help her cope with her grief and is taking part in this year's Edinburgh Marathon once again. Her fundraising will help support pioneering research projects such as those taking place at the University of Plymouth Brain Tumour Research Centre of Excellence, which has a strong focus on meningioma research. Leanne said, running became my outlet and gave me focus when I felt completely lost. As her 40th birthday approached in 2025, I wanted to do something meaningful for Gemma. I decided to take on the Edinburgh Marathon for brain tumour research because I knew it was a charity she would have supported herself. I trained for 5 months and was terrified on race day that I would let Gemma down. But crossing that finish line was emotional because I truly felt she was with me every step of the way. Leanne now wears a blue butterfly pin during every run which reads, "Always with me, Gemma." She added, "This year I'm running the Edinburgh Marathon again, and although it's incredibly challenging, it's all worth it. I run for Gemma every single time, in her honour and in her name. If raising awareness and funding research can help even one family avoid the pain we went through, then it's worth everything. I hope that one day there will be quicker diagnoses, better treatments and more lives saved." Gemma was bubbly, funny and always making people laugh with her quirky comments. She genuinely once argued that ducks had 4 legs and that cheese was a fruit. She was also incredibly caring and compassionate and absolutely loved being a nurse and helping people. And that feature's accompanied by a picture of Gemma Williamson, her daughter Rosalind and her twin sister Leanne.
This article is headed "More than 80 jobs being created ahead of Whitburn Superstore opening." More than 80 job roles have been created for brand new Tesco Superstore opening in Whitburn. The supermarket chain is looking for new colleagues across a variety of roles at the new store, which will be located in the Heartlands area of the town when it opens later this year. Positions available will cover a wide range of opportunities within the store, including stock control, warehouse operative, and various positions on the shop floor. Stephanie Barber, store manager, said, "We're hugely excited to be able to offer more than 80 new roles at our brand new Whitburn Tesco Superstore in West Lothian. We're looking forward to becoming part of the Whitburn community and providing a fantastic number of jobs opportunities for colleagues who will help us make this new store a key part of the community it serves. Being a colleague in one of our stores means that you will help to serve our customers better every day. You'll meet great people, learn new things, and be part of a diverse team where everyone is welcome. Whether you are looking for the opportunity to learn new skills and progress your career, or flexibility to suit your lifestyle, there can be a role for you. So we invite anyone in the local community interested in applying to visit our Tesco Careers website. To find out more about the colleagues role available at Tesco Whitburn Superstore, visit https://apply.tesco-careers.com/members/J equals 987416.
And that brings us to the end of part 2. Welcome back to part 3, which includes the quiz. So here is the quiz. Can you pick the right answers to these 10 multiple choice questions? Number 1. Which major river runs through the city of Budapest? Is it A, the Volga, B, the Rhine, or C, the Danube? Number 2. In humans, how many main blood groups are there? A, 4, B, 5, or C, 3? And number 3, what is the meaning of the Latin phrase sub rosa? Is it A, note well, B, in secret, or C, clean slate? Number 4, which colourless gas is the lightest and commonest element in the universe? Is it A, hydrogen, B, oxygen, or C, helium? Number 5, in which European country is St. Moritz the host of the Winter Olympics in 1928 and 1948? Is it in A, Switzerland, B, France, or C, Italy? Number 6, the Vistula is the longest river in which European country? Is it A, Austria, B, Poland, or C, Portugal? 7, how many legs does a newt have? Is it A, 6, B, none, or C, 4? And question 8, yellow fever is an acute infectious disease transmitted by which creature? Is it A, the mosquito, B, the tsetse fly, or C, a tick? And number 9, how many Academy Awards did actress Katharine Hepburn win? Was it A, 4, B, 3, or C, 5? And last one, number 10, what are Pasamezzo and Tarantella types of? A, cheeses, B, motorcycles, or C, dances? Remember to listen in at the start of part 4 for the answers to the quiz.
Article is about the Dog's Trust Pet for the Week. Sweet and spirited Lydia. Lydia Longlegs is a beautiful 2-year-old lurcher who is searching for her forever family. This sweet and spirited girl is full of fun and has an infectious zest for life. Lydia is a playful, wriggly whirlwind who absolutely adores zooming around with her toys and chasing after a ball. When it comes to games, she's not just fast, she's clever too. Hide and seek with her favourite ball is one of Lydia's specialities, and she's a seasoned professional at sniffing it out. This bright girl loves activities that keep both her body and brain busy, so she'd thrive in a family who enjoy interactive play, adventures, and lots of fun together. Lydia is also a fantastic travel buddy and is always happy to hop in the car for her next outing. Lydia is looking for a home with children aged 16 and over, and she'd prefer to be the only pet in the household so she can soak up all the love and attention for herself. A garden where she can stretch her long legs and enjoy her favourite toys would make her dreams come true. With an affectionate nature, playful personality and loyal companionship, Lydia Longlegs truly is an absolute sweetheart who will make an amazing addition to the right active and loving family. If you think you could be Lydia's person, then please pop along to the Dogs Trust West Calder. To find out more about all the poochies patiently waiting to be adopted at Dogs Trust West Calder, you can visit www.dogstrust.org.uk/West Calder. And there's a lovely photograph of Lydia looking very dapper in her pink bandana and a matching ball.
The next headline reads, Proposal revived to use straps on bin lids. A Linlithgow councillor has revived proposals for West Lothian householders to use bin straps to secure wheelie bin lids. In a written question to fellow Linlithgow councillor Tom Conn, the SNP's Pauline Orr questioned why West Lothian had not followed Perth and Kinross Council in introducing the measure. She asked West Lothian's interpretation of health and safety rules was so at odds with the Perthshire Council and that of Orkney, which has also introduced the straps for bins. Can this council please explain why their interpretation of the various legislation is so far apart from Perth and Kinross Council and even Orkney Council, which has extreme winds? Responding in a written answer, Councillor Conn, the Executive Councillor for Environment and Sustainability, who said the extra time needed by staff to unclip bins on the more than 200 collection routes would require a full county-wide review of the service. Councillor Conn said every council will consider its own approach to mitigating risks. As acknowledged at the Environment and Sustainability PDSP in September 2025, WLC has concerns around both the safe use of clips around the lifting mechanisms of refuse collection vehicles and the cost implications if a high volume of bin straps were deployed across West Lothian. Councillor Orr first suggested using the bin straps last summer, citing the amount of windblown rubbish across the county. The plan had the support of volunteer litter pickers who collect hundreds of bags of rubbish a month. However, a meeting of the Environment and Sustainability PDSP held last September that, quite apart from the costs, the additional time spent by staff would add significantly to journey times for the 243 collection routes taken each week by bin lorries. Additionally, waste management officers in the council are reluctant to introduce the straps because of health and safety implications after one bin man was pulled into a refuse wagon after being caught up in the straps during pilot project. Councillor Conn said that a report last year to the PDSP highlighted that having carried out a feasibility study, only 2 Scottish councils permitted the use of bin straps. A number of councils who responded to the council's survey highlighted concerns with the use of bin straps or clips. In the most serious case, a waste collection operative in one council was injured after being caught and dropped by a bin lorry's lifting mechanism after becoming tangled in a cord attached to a household wheelie bin. He added, I remain of the view that it is the advice of our professional officers that must be taken into account, not decisions made by other local authorities on their local circumstances and which may differ from work practices and volumes in West Lothian to ensure the health and safety of our staff. Councillor Orr asked follow-up questions on cost comparisons for clear-up of windblown rubbish and the provision of the straps.
Before the next news item, I just read the word-wise puzzle from the Courier, and its headline, the bit in here, it says the word may sound familiar, but do you know what it means? So the first word is acierate, and that is spelled A-C-I-E-R-A-T-E. So acierate. Is it A, to make sour, B, to acidify, or C, to turn into steel? Aceriate. The second word is quail, spelled Q-U-A-I-L. Is it A, a Scottish drinking cup, B, to fail in spirit, or C, vibrate or shake? So that's quail, Q-U-A-I-L. Make sure to listen at the start of part 4 for the answers to that and the quiz I did earlier. This next news item is by Ross Thompson, and the headline is MSPs to probe future of Children's Respite Unit. Cross-party concerns over the fate of Sundach Centre. The future of a respite centre for severely disabled children in Livingston is being raised by the area's newly elected parliamentarians. In April, it was revealed NHS Lothian considered closing one of the 2 respite homes due to severe financial pressures. Families who use the services at the Sundach facility in Livingston and Callaree in Edinburgh have called for all political parties to support keeping both open. Central Scotland and Lothian's West Scottish Labour MSP Jenny Young has written to NHS Scotland regarding any potential closure of Sundach. In the letter she states, "I wish to express my support for the families using Sundach and to urge NHS Lothian not to close this vital facility. As you will be aware, children receiving respite care at Sundach have complex needs and require 24-hour care. This service is a lifeline for families, allowing parents to attend their own essential medical appointments, work and have quality time with their own children. The care and dedication of staff at Sundach was praised by families, and the prospect of losing this facility would be devastating." She also called on Scotland's new Health Secretary, Amman Valley MSP Angela Constance, to step in and protect the facility. Ms Young added, "Families rely on the exemplary respite care that Sundach provides. Closure by stealth is unacceptable." This is in the new Health Secretary's backyard. Angela Constance must listen to her constituents and step in to protect this vital service. Before being appointed Health Secretary on May 20th, Ms Constance confirmed she had written to the Health Board regarding Sundach. She said, "As the local MSP for Amman Valley, I wrote to NHS Lothian last week to express my concerns about the uncertainty surrounding the future of this respite centre. I will be meeting with the Health Board's Chief Executive on Monday to share the concerns of constituents and to make clear that vital services provided by Sundach for local children and their families in Livingston must be protected. I will be asking the Board to set out how it will engage properly with families as part of the review process and will be clear of the need for NHS Lothian to urgently reassure families that these vital services will not be downgraded." Aris Tyrotholicus, Director for Women's and Children's Services at NHS Lothian, said, "No decisions have been made yet about the future of children's respite care at the residential facility of Sundach. The service is currently being reviewed to ensure services remain sustainable and efficient, while continuing to meet the needs of existing families who rely on this important support. Respite care is a service provided to families and carers to provide them with a short break. A child's health care needs are assessed separately by NHS Lothian and met through a different service, which is not the focus of this review. We have worked closely with families, staff and local authorities which have a legal duty to provide appropriate support to carers, to explore all future delivery options and consider future service demand. An appraisal is expected to be completed this year. We will provide further information to families and to local MSPs as soon as we have updates." Scottish Government Minister for Community Care, Alison Thewlis, added, "Whilst NHS boards must regularly review their services to ensure the highest quality of care, I recognise how important these services are for families and children with complex needs. I will be meeting with the board shortly to discuss this issue on behalf of the government and to seek assurances that the review will be fully informed by comprehensive stakeholder engagement and that continuity of care for affected families is protected."
This is Club of the Week. This week's Club of the Week is Spark, based in Craigshill. We spoke to Kirsty Robertson to find out about the charity and its members. Spark, previously known as Craigshill Good Neighbour Network, was established 37 years ago when many people moved to Livingston from Glasgow and Edinburgh. We're a small charity based in Craigshill that has been around for 40 plus years. Our main aim is to reduce social isolation and loneliness. We do this by providing weekly timetable of activities for people to come along and join in with us. We also have a volunteering program to give people an opportunity to try something new, learn new skills, meet people and build confidence. We meet at our hub 2 Almond Bank, the Mall, Craigshill, Livingston. Each morning or afternoon session costs £2.50 per person, which includes the activity being attended, plus tea, coffee and biscuits. We are more than a place, we are a community, a lifeline and a source of hope. When someone walks through our doors, they are met with compassion, understanding and solidarity. We create spaces for people to connect and build relationships so that they feel supported, encouraged and valued. Then they can help others feel the same in return. We encourage fun and a sense of hope in everyone who walks through our doors so that they know this is a place where they can thrive. Securing sustainability funding remains the greatest challenge facing our charity. We rely on financial support to keep our doors open and continue serving our community. While we are grateful for the funding opportunities available, much of the support we apply for is restricted to specific projects or activities, which can limit our ability to respond flexibly to the changing needs of those we support. Access to more unrestricted funding would enable us to maintain essential services, strengthen our long-term sustainability, and make the greatest possible impact within our community. Our main event will be Spark in the Park on Saturday the 1st of August from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is a free family event and no ticket is required. The event is free, community-focused family fun day designed to be inclusive, accessible and engaging for all ages. It includes a diverse programme of live music and entertainment, alongside activities such as face painting, inflatables and pony experience. The event also brings together a range of local organisations through a dedicated third sector village, creating a vibrant, festive-style atmosphere. Everyone is welcome to come along to any activity. No need to pre-book, just turn up on the day and we'll be there to greet you with a smile and a cuppa. Unless you are part of a group, then please email kirsty@sparkscott.com beforehand to check availability.
And now for some sport. Lions look ahead. Livy prioritise squad preparation with triple signing despite vacant manager role. This article is by Paul Thompson. Livingston may still be without a manager, but that hasn't stopped the Lions roaring on with their transfer business after 3 fresh faces arrived at Almond Vale in recent days. Applications for the club's vacant manager's role closed last Friday, and the process is set to continue this week as the club prepares for life in the Championship. However, the squad has been strengthened for an immediate return to the Premiership, with former Kilmarnock and Motherwell midfielder Liam Polworth signing up alongside ex-Raith Rovers defender, midfielder Jordan Doherty and midfielder Cammy Palmer from Northern Ireland Premiership side Glentoran. That took the new recruits at the Lions for the next season to 6 as they join Jack Wilkie, Tyrese Sinclair, Sam Nicholson through the door. A club statement on Doherty's arrival read, "The versatile 25-year-old arrives in West Lothian following an impressive spell with Raith Rovers and brings added strength, athleticism and flexibility to the squad ahead of the new season. Capable of operating both in defence and midfield, Doherty has built up a varied career across Scotland, Ireland and the United States. Born in Balbriggan, North Dublin, the former Republic of Ireland under-19 international, came from the youth setup at Sheffield United before beginning his senior career. His first taste of senior football came during a loan spell with American side the Tampa Bay Rowdies in 2019, before making the move permanent the following year. Doherty would go on to establish himself as a regular in the USL Championship, making over 140 appearances across 2 spells with the club. A return to Europe followed in 2022 with the Irish side Bohemians, where he continued his development before heading back to Tampa Bay Rowdies in 2023. Most recently, Doherty joined Raith Rovers in January 2025, impressing with his composure, versatility and physical presence. Jordan played against us during the 2024-25 championship season, featuring during a 0-0 draw here in Livingston. Joining predominantly as an attack-minded right-back, Doherty's adaptability and experience across different leagues and styles of football will provide a valuable addition to the squad ahead of the championship campaign. On Palmer, the club said, the 26-year-old midfielder arrives in West Lothian with an impressive range of experience across Scotland, Northern Ireland and the United States, adding energy, technical quality and versatility to the squad ahead of the new season. Primarily a central midfielder, Palmer is also capable of operating in both attacking and defensive midfielder roles. A former Northern Ireland under-21 international, he made 10 appearances at U21 level and has built a reputation as a composed and intelligent player in the middle of the park. On Polwarth, they said, the experienced midfielder arrives in West Lothian with a strong pedigree in Scottish football and brings creativity, composure and a wealth of top-flight experience to the squad ahead of the new season. Comfortable both in deeper midfield roles and further forward, Polwarth's experience and technical quality will provide a major boost to the squad as preparations continue for the 2026-27 campaign. The club also announced its released and retained list. As we exclusively revealed last week, defender Danny Wilson is among those leaving. He activated a relegation release clause in his contract alongside Mo Silla. Livingston are still in discussions with Scott Arfield, who took the reins on an interim basis for the final 3 games of the season after Marvin Bartley quit and Shane Blaney. Returning to their parent clubs are Alex Tam and Macaulay Tate of Olympia Ljubljana and Hearts respectively. Players out of contract and moving on are Joel Nubley, Barry Mackay, Jeremy Bokila, Dan Finlayson, Andrew Shinney, Jamie Smith, Samson Lawal, Graham Carey, Andy Winter, Lewis Latona, Cody Stark and Liam Soule. Those still under contract are Cammy Kerr, Babacar Fati, Ryan McGowan, Aidan Denham, Scott Pittman, Robbie Muirhead, Connor McLennan, Jack Hamilton, Lewis Smith, Stevie May, Emmanuel Danso, Brooklyn Kabangolo, Christian Montano, Jerome Pryor, Joshua Zimmerman, Yannick Vayner, Evan Miles, Tete Yenge, Mitchell Robertson and Sam Culbert.
And that brings us to the end of part 3. Welcome back to part 4. We'll start with the answers to the quiz and also the word-wise. So the quiz questions were, and there were 10 of them. Number 1 was, which major river runs through the city of Budapest? Was it A, Volga, B, Rhine, or C, Danube? And the answer is C, Danube. Question 2. In humans, how many main blood groups are there? A, 4, B, 5, or C, 3? And the answer is A, 4. Number 3. What is the meaning of this Latin phrase sub rosa? Was it A, note well, B, in secret, or C, clean slate? And the answer was B, in secret. Question 4. Which colourless gas is the lightest and commonest element in the universe? Was it A, hydrogen, B, oxygen, or C, helium? And the answer was A, hydrogen. Question 5. In which European country is St. Moritz the host of the Winter Olympics in 1928 and 1948? Is it A, Switzerland, B, France, or C, Italy? And the answer was A, Switzerland. Question 6. The Vistula is the longest river in which European country? Is it A, Austria, B, Poland, or C, Portugal? The answer to that one was B, Poland. Question 7. How many legs does a newt have? Is it A, 6, B, none, or C, 4? And the answer is C, 4. Question 8. Yellow fever is an acute infectious disease transmitted by which creature? Is it A, a mosquito, B, a tsetse fly, or C, a tick? And the answer is A, mosquito. Question 9. How many Academy Awards did actress Katharine Hepburn win? Was it A, 4, B, 3, or C, 5? And the answer to that one was A, 4. Last one, question 10. What are passamezzo and tarantella types of? Is it A, cheeses, B, motorcycles, or C, dances? And the answer to that one was C, dances. And moving on to the word-wise section, the two words were aceriate and quail. So aceriate is spelled A-C-I-E-R-A-T-E. And does that mean A, to make sour, B, to acidify, or C, to turn into steel? And the answer is C, to turn into steel. The second word, quail, Q-U-A-I-L. A, a Scottish drinking cup. B, to fail in spirit. Or C, vibrate or shake. And the answer to that one was B, fail in spirit. The next news item is a sport item. It's by Ross Thompson and is headlined, Schools Shoot Through Hoops. You have probably heard of the NBA, but are you ready for Junior NBA? Wolves Basketball Club has successfully launched its new Junior NBA programme across schools in West Lothian, bringing exciting competitive basketball opportunities to hundreds of young people throughout the region. Working in partnership with Basketball Scotland, the club received official kits supplied through the Junior NBA programme. Wolves coaching staff then introduced their new schools initiative, with every participating school team adopting the name of an NBA franchise. To support the growing programme, the club established 2 conference leagues across West Lothian schools, a North Conference and the South Conference, allowing pupils from across the area to play basketball regularly through the season. The programme first tipped off in November, when with more than 160 school children took part in an afternoon of basketball action. 10 teams representing 7 schools from Armadale, Bathgate, Broxburn and Linlithgow enjoyed a fantastic afternoon of competitive games and sporting fun. Since then, the programme has continued to grow in popularity and participation, giving children the chance to improve their health and well-being while learning about one of Scotland's lesser-known sports. School teacher Colin Ferguson, who has led the programme, praised the enthusiasm shown throughout the season. There was a high standard of play and school staff were delighted to be involved, Colin said. Most importantly, the players enjoyed the experience, and for most it was their first taste of competitive basketball. Thanks to all the players, staff and parents for making it happen, and to the Wolves team for delivering such a great event. Over the past 2 weeks, Wolves Basketball Club hosted the Junior NBA Finals with more than 125 players competing. The finals delivered plenty of excitement, intensity and some high-quality basketball. This showcased the incredible talent, teamwork and determination developed throughout the programme. The club also celebrated its All-Star 5 selections alongside the season's championship winners. Blackridge Primary School Clippers won the gold finals, and Simpson Primary School Pistons won the silver finals. Wolves Basketball Club manager Aidan Gallagher said the programme has already made a huge impact across local schools. We're incredibly proud of what the players, schools and coaches have achieved through the Junior NBA programme this year, Aidan said. Seeing so many people enjoying basketball, building confidence and representing their schools with pride has been fantastic. The finals showed just how much talent we have across West Lothian, and this is only the beginning for the programme. The club extended thanks to all players, coaches, families and supporters who contributed to the success of the season and praised every child who represented their school throughout the year. And these are accompanied by photographs of the winning teams with their trophies and also some of the players holding a basketball.
This is another sports article by Paul Thompson. Linlithgow lad James Wilson joined Scotland's World Cup squad for training this week as part of a special experience for 4 promising young players. National boss Steve Clarke announced his 26-man team for the finals in Mexico, Canada and the United States, and the players, including former Livingston star Lyndon Dykes, met up for the first time on Tuesday to begin preparations for next month's showpiece. The 48-team tournament is being held across Mexico, Canada and the United States, with the big kick-off in June the 11th when Mexico hosts South Africa in the historic Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. Scotland will need to wait until Sunday the 14th of June at 2 a.m. British Summer Time to take on Haiti in their opener at the Boston Stadium, which is followed by a clash against Morocco at the same venue on Friday the 19th of June. That's at 11 p.m. British Summer Time. And then the big one against Brazil in Miami on Wednesday the 24th of June at 11 p.m. British Summer Time. And as the squad prepares for that, 19-year-old Wilson will be right in among it before they jet off to the States. He is one of 4 youngsters involved along with Hearts teammate Liam McFarlane, Dundee defender Luke Graham and Manchester United midfielder Tyler Fletcher. Wilson, who spent part of his season on loan at Tottenham Hotspur, became Scotland's youngest player when he made his debut against Greece in March 2025 and will be looking to impress. Steve Clarke said, "When I announced the squad, I made references to a few young players joining us for training at Lesser Hampden. It's helpful for us because it boosts our numbers for training given the staggered arrivals of those who are still playing domestically, and it allows us to take a closer look at some boys who are on our radar. It should be a very positive experience for the young players themselves, who will get an insight into what we look for in the senior squad environment, surrounded by top professionals." The full squad is as follows: goalkeepers Craig Johnson, Angus Gunn and Liam Kelly. Defenders Grant Hanley, Jack Henry, Aaron Hickey, Dom Hyam, Scott McKenna, Nathan Patterson, Anthony Ralston, Andy Robertson, John Suter and Kieran Tierney. Midfielders Ryan Christie, Finlay Curtis, Lewis Ferguson, Ben Gannon Doak, Billy Gilmer, John McGinn, Kenny McLean, Scott McTominay. Forwards Che Adams, Lyndon Dykes, George Hurst, Lon Shankland and Ross Stewart.
This article continues our sporting theme, and it's the cricket club's third string enjoy victory. Livingston Cricket Club's threes enjoyed a 6-wicket victory over Edinburgh as they continued their winning start to the season. Assam Ghaffar once again won the toss and elected to field first on a bright, hot, sunny day. The openers Jagat and Raghu started the game well, keeping tight bowling with Raghu taking out their opener early for 3. The Edinburgh pair kept things going for a solid 73-run partnership, only to be broken by a brilliant throw by Saeed Ali to run out Nazish on 34. Wickets started falling regularly from that point, with Purna Desu picking up 3 wickets after having 3 catches dropped from his bowling earlier. Hafiz Faraz came on and made an immediate impact, picking up 3 wickets of his own in a fine spell of leg bowling. Edinburgh was dismissed on the final wicket by Raghu Gunde, setting up a target of 141 for Livingston. Openers Mahendra and Vijay didn't get the start they were hoping for, which was mainly due to the fine pace bowling spell by Hafiz Zishan, who didn't give a chance to the Livy batsman and got early and breakthrough LBW. Assam tried to steady things and worked hard for his 9 runs from 41 balls, but was eventually bowled out by Zohail. Nikhil and Hafiz Faraz put on a show from then, hitting some great runs around the ground in a 56-run partnership. Once Nikhil fell on 41, Livingston still required 58 runs, but Hafiz Faraz 58 and Raghu Gunde 12 saw them over the line with 5 overs to spare in a great win by 6 wickets. This weekend the team is away against Marchmont. Meanwhile, Livingston 2s suffered a defeat to Marchmont 2s, losing by 47 runs after being bowled out for 93, chasing Marchmont's total of 140 for 9. On a day when early wickets gave them real hope, the inability to build momentum with the bat ultimately cost them. Mohamed Zubair Zirkot's cameo aside, the batting unit will need to find more fluency and intent if they are to challenge higher up the Division 3 table. There was also disappointment for the first team as they lost to Edinburgh Acciers. Livingston remain bottom of Division 1 and are yet to register their first win. Before going on to Watsonians on Saturday, they will play Woodcutters 11 in the Parks Trophy T20 match.
Next, stock car racing. And Fordyce claims first ever win in Racewall latest. Michael Bethune regained the ORCI Stock Rod European title at a sunny Knockhill Tri-Oval on Saturday afternoon after an enthralling race-long battle with English star Callum Falconbridge. Bethune came back down to earth at Cowdenbeath on Sunday when he rolled over when battling for the lead of the National Championship. Eventually, the title went the way of Cameron Doak. There were also 2 new Scottish champions crowned in the visiting Stocks Karts and Mod Stocks formulas. Liam Powell took the Stocks Kart version after a dominant display over the weekend, while in the Mod Stocks it was Dan Baker who took the title. Jordan Casey from Armadale was in good form at Knockhill in the saloon stock cars with 3 finishes inside the top 3. Casey was third in Heat 1, the winner of Heat 2 and second in the final. Nicole Russell from Longridge, Owen Marshall from Blackridge and Barry Glenn from Winchborough were also in action, but didn't manage to finish any races in the top 10. Terry Curran from Polbeth was the best of local drivers in the Pro Stock Basics at Knockhill, taking the win in the meeting final. Curran was also second in the first heat and 5th in the second. There was a first ever win for Jay Fordyce from Livingston in the Heat 2 after finishing in 7th in Heat 1. Fordyce ended his afternoon with a 5th in the final. Greg Fraser from Addywell was starting from the yellow grade for the first time and was 5th in Heat 1, 6th in Heat 2 and 4th in the final, while Laura Graham from Polbeth picked up her first points of the year with her 9th in Heat 1. James Payton from Polbeth and Joanne Hilditch Harthill were 7th and 8th respectively in the final. George White from Livingston was the 10th place finisher in the second ORCI stock rod heat at the race wall on Sunday afternoon. The saloon stock cars were back in action with more good results for Cassie, this time a 2nd in Heat 1 and a 4th in the final. Glenn was also in the results, finishing in 5th in Heat 2 and 8th in the final. This week at the race wall, it is a 5:30 p.m. start time with the Brisca Formula 2 saloon stock cars, Pro Stocks Basics, Unlimited Bangers and Junior Bangers on the programme.
We've now come to the end of this week's recording and we hope you've enjoyed it. So it's goodbye from our members of Team 5, Sadie, Ruth, John and myself, Steve, and our excellent sound engineer, Aidan. Until our next recording. Thanks and goodbye.